got into a rap battle with one of the guys named Dakota, who's now my sister Margarita's engaged to.
Wait, use the time. Okay, time.
Yeah.
Books, way play, rap battle.
Yeah, we're
so
just
you're
playing.
A rapper.
No, I'm not a rapper.
Okay.
We're just playing.
Okay.
We're just playing.
Because we're gonna have to talk about it.
We're gonna chop it up.
Welcome to another episode of Real Folk Podcast. We are here at Gold Dragon MMA in Picayune, Mississippi. All right, this is our first interview where we go to the place and tell the ladies to come to the studio. We figure we stretch our legs and we get out there. Be sure to like and subscribe. I know, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm that guy now, and so, I would really appreciate it. So, we have a really special guest for you today. A guy who I've known for a while, who's been in a lot of different things. Right now is MMA fighter, okay? Been fighting all of his life, and I really think that you guys are gonna enjoy it. His name is Clay Combel. Clay, welcome to the podcast.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, man, it's good I'm so happy to, just have you here, have me here, because we haven't talked in a decade almost.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a William Carey day. Yeah. So, talk to me about those days or those years right out of Carey. So, what would you get into? What happened in your life? Just those first 3 years out of Carey.
Yeah. So, immediately, 2 weeks before I graduated William Carey, my mom passed away, and so that put me back into my spot where I was born and raised in Louisiana. Okay. So I came back here, and originally Gold Dragon was in Slidell. Okay. And so a friend invited me over here, and I've been a martial artist my whole life. So I instantly walked in the door. And one thing about our gym is that, man, you just feel a presence in here, like an aura. It's a good feeling. You just feel like you're home, it's cool. Family.
Yeah.
And so I walked in, and I just was hooked, man. And a guy named Derek Arsman is the one that convinced me to get in the cage. Sure. And dude is a fantastic martial artist. Got more MMA fights than anybody I know. And Bellator vet, just professional MMA fighter, professional boxer, professional kickboxer, professional grappler, everything. Yeah.
Wow.
So for me, coming in where I was a lifelong martial artist, I was like, I want to be like that guy. Gotcha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was a little older than me, and I just, I thought he was the best thing ever. And Daniel Mosley, who's a coach with me as well, will say the same thing about Derek.
Okay.
So I think he might have been the one that got Daniel in there too.
Okay.
And because Derek is the kind of guy, if he sees something in you and he tells you, he's like, you could really do this. So yeah, man, he believed in me. And on days I didn't even believe in myself. Okay. You have those days in the gym where you're just like, man, I suck. I can't do anything right.
Yeah.
My timing's off, precision's not there, my footwork's going, my head movement's non-existent. It was guys like Derek who was like, hey, man, you're all right.
Okay.
It's another day in the gym.
Cool.
It's a fighter life. Get over it.
Okay,
cool. So for me, that's kind of how it went after college. I moved back to the area, found this gym, and then it was like I just found family. Even though I had just lost family, I found another one, and it was a beautiful time. So,
okay. So you started, fighting a little bit. What was it like when you knew that, okay, I'm gonna go into the cage, first match? What was that first building for that first match, the training? Do you get a little different? Is it tight? What?
Yeah, the way we do things here, man, once you're on paper, you're on fight team. And once you're on fight team, dude, you're expected to be held to a higher standard.
Okay, explain what fight team is to the audience.
So when you come in our gym, if you just want to train, that's completely fine. And we want to get you better. We want to get you more confident. We want to get you some real training that would be used in the street if somebody would attack you.
Gotcha.
Sometimes people that train for a while, they develop real, good skills.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you can actually fight.
Okay.
Sometimes people come in here and they're just like, I don't really want to have just a training. I want to fight. So we know exactly what they're coming in with. We know their goals. You know what I mean? And fight team is different because a lot of times fight team has their own practices. they have their own requirements, they have their own standards they have to meet, and it's held in way higher standards than the regular person.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Won't go into detail about it because we're smashing everybody right now, and I want people to know what we're doing.
Okay, nice.
I'm just playing.
Hey, look, I've did like a little bit of research like before I got here, man. Y'all are doing great.
Yeah.
Like this is a great. So when you came in here the first time, how did you know it was different than all the other, like, because you had some training before you got here, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So what was it like coming through here the first time?
So I've been, like I said, a martial artist my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, a guy named Brian Fulmer at William Carey. He was doing 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu with us out there. He's now at 10 Planet Mobile. He's one of the instructors under Bobby Rivers. Shout out 10 Planet Mobile. But he had told me, find me a good gym. And he kind of gave me some things to look for in a good gym. Because I was no longer with him. He went to Mobile and I went to Louisiana. So we're different places, and we both wanted to seek out training, you know.
Gotcha.
And when I came in here, man, I just remember like these dudes can fight, man. These dudes can fight. I felt like
how did you know that by just walking?
Honestly, just first off watching them throw technical combinations, technical punches, and then like getting in there and sparring with them. I was like, man, these guys are legit, man. Like, and this is coming from a gym that had professional boxers. So if I'm saying that, it's the real deal in here. And I remember getting on the ground with Derek Arsman and Joe Abercrombie, and just in like a 3-minute period getting tapped out 15, 16 times. And they understand, like, these guys, they were pros, and one was, I think they might have been both 135ers.
15, 16, and 3 minutes.
Yeah, dude, it's like just mopping the floor with me.
Yeah.
And I had been doing jiu-jitsu for years. So I'm like, what they know, and see, a lot of people get mad when that happens. Me, I'm like, teach me. Like, you know,
and that's very important.
Yeah, it is. So I was like, I want you guys to show me how to be like you. You know what I mean? Because you're doing great things. Both of them are Bellator veterans, and our gym's never lost in Bellator. So
so explain Bellator to the audience.
So you know, UFC obviously is the biggest organization, the forefront of mixed martial arts right now. You also have ONE FC, and then you have Bellator, and they're the kind of the ones right underneath it. I mean, they have some studs in there, just really high class fighters. Like Michael Chandler came from Bellator.
Really?
Yeah, he was a Bellator champ. You know, Ben Askren. But I'm telling you, like, they have a lot of guys. Like, so our guys were fighting on those cards then, and I was just like, honestly, like after I got to know them, I was like, man, they're really good people. They're just like homegrown, hardworking guys, and I remember thinking like, I could do this. Like, you know, I could. It's an honor to be a part of what this gym has going on.
Gotcha.
And so I just bought in fully to it, and I've been here ever since. You know, so now I'm a coach. So
nice.
That's how that works.
Okay. So like, all right, first fight, night of, you're walking into the ring, they close, and it's time to go.
Yeah.
What thoughts are going through your head? Is it just, okay, I need to make sure I remember my training, or is it like, man, like this is weird? Like, what are you feeling and thinking in this while you're in the cage with this guy that you got to knock out or submit?
So the first fight's a little difficult because I've been competing for a long time, obviously with amateur boxing and, you know, kickboxing, and I had jiu-jitsu matches and did all kind of stuff. So when I did my first big fight in MMA, the first fight I had was a smoker fight, and
What's that?
it's a unsanctioned
Smart.
fight that's 100% real.
Gotcha.
People really get knocked out. It's just not signed off by the athletic commission.
Gotcha.
And I can't actually tell the person that was putting them on. I can't say his name
fine,
because
yeah,
he went to jail for it, because you can't do that's illegal.
Wow.
You have to have, you know, an athletic commission sign off of it.
Okay.
Or you have to
Dang,
call
that's
it
serious.
hard sparring. And it was not either one. It was labeled as MMA, but they had no athletic commission. So my first fight was with that, and I won by knockout. I fought 185 then.
You won by knockout.
Yeah, and I didn't know what I was getting into. I'll be very honest with you when that happened.
So how did so you knock him out?
So this is what I thought. I was like, we're just gonna be like hard sparring.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have a team with me at first, right? I was had a jiu-jitsu guy here and a boxing coach here and this.
Okay.
And this is before I came to Gold Dragon. I had this fight, right?
Yeah.
Because Gold Dragon would have never let me do something that stupid.
Yeah.
You know, I was right out of college, and so
You gotta get your name out there. You gotta let
I don't know why I did that. Somebody's like, you should do it. I'm like, yes, I will. So I just signed up. I was like, because I was boxing all the time. I was like, I'll be fine.
Why not?
And man, I was like, I got jiu-jitsu and I got boxing, and man, we weighed in at 185. I was underweight, so I was like, I was like, this guy's big, like whatever. They
and you put the pause to him.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, we're just gonna be just like, you know, some sparring, maybe goes to the ground and control. No, bro, this guy came at me like a spider monkey. Like this sucker came to kill me. Like, I mean, and it was very untechnical. He was like slinging these wild punches, trying to get to me, and I was just like, I remember just thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I in?
Yeah.
You know, like it hit me in that moment. So I just said, bite down the mouthpiece, let's see where it goes, you know?
Right.
And I hit him with a nice 1-2 off a counter. He went down to one knee. I hit him again, he went down. I fully mounted him and TKO'd him. So yeah, then I had like a massive black eye, and I don't even know where it came from after that one. But there was no videos of it because it's a smoker, you know, it's a smoker.
Okay, so you can have videos of it.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe can now if they do them because they can say they're hard sparring, but at that time,
point,
no. I mean, this was also when you didn't have a lot of smartphones around.
Gotcha.
So after I got out of there, I was like, that was stupid. Like, I need to get with the MMA gym because, yeah, I won, but like I knew at that point, like if I want to take this on a serious level, which I do, I need to get with the people that are doing it. And that has always been my philosophy.
Okay.
Whatever I do, I want to be the best at it, but I need to get around people that are better so I can be mentored and disciple from them.
But that's sports,
Right.
you know. Like, I never understood people who they get their feel from beating up or beating people that's you can beat.
Yeah.
That are kind of below you in a way.
Right.
You know, the way you test yourself is you play to people who are better. And so it's interesting, you getting your first knockout. Yeah. And instead of you going, yeah, I'm the man, it's like, yo, that was dumb. I need to go get better.
Right.
Immediately.
I was exposed. I knew, and I know people didn't see it that way, but me as a martial artist, I was like, I have holes in my game that need to be taken care of by people that are more experienced than me. So I sought out those that were better, and this place was the place, This is you could look around here, it's home of champions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, that's where I need to go. Yeah, it's like, that's where I need to go, Yeah. And when I instantly came into the door here, I was greeted by Lawrence Patrick, who is the sensei, the head instructor. And man, I was just, it was like a father figure. He comes in and it's just like, you feel at home, man. He makes you feel like you're a part of this. And I was just like, man, I'm drawn to this place. I want to be here. This is a good atmosphere. And then like on top of that, these dudes could fight. Like these girls in here could fight. Like I was impressed all the way around. Even the dang kids class could fight. Like I was like, dude, they're wrecking everybody.
Okay.
And I had met them previously, before I was invited to come. Okay. I'd met them previously, actually in Hattiesburg at an old Briar Patch tournament. And Briar Patch used to be an old MMA school that closed down, and they used to do these crazy tournaments. And it was just.
They had some people that were there, and
they would pack them out. It was like, I won one of the tournaments. I think I did it the no weight class, the absolute tournament. Yeah. And I won one of those, and then I had an injury for the second time I did the tournament. Well, Gold Dragon came in the second time, and they just wrecked everybody. And I was like,
you're like, what the?
Yeah, I was like, who are these people? Like, and so I recognized an accent of one of the guys from Chalmette because I'm from the North Shore, so I was like, these guys are from Louisiana. So I started talking, and they invited me over, and so my buddy kind of told me where it was at in Slidell, so I went over there, and Slidell was where I grew up too, so Slidell Pearl River area, and man, it was home, dude. It was home,
Okay. So let's do this. So we talked about your first fight. Now let's go. Let's reverse. Let's go all the way back. Yeah. Okay. So who or what introduced you to fighting? Period. Like, how did you get introduced to this world?
So I grew up in it. That's the easiest way to say it. So let me explain. Like, my name is Clay Combel, and I am adopted. My original last name was Bellator,
Okay.
And so the family that adopted me, the Combels, Arthur Combel, my father was an amateur boxer, and then his father, Arthur Combel, was a professional fighter and a coach over at St. Mary's in the ninth ward and the lower ninth. So
Wow.
yeah, so I remember like as a child, like I just was always in the gym. You know, I was always doing something. And my grandpa, he retired from even coaching then. You know, he was living with us, and I grew up in the environment of seeing. And when I was a kid, like all these professional fighters would come around all the time and talk to my grandpa, and so I was doing like work with them out in the yard and letting them hitting their hands and stuff. And I was obsessed with the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
So my dad was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Well, I want to do karate, something like this, So he
Who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Leonardo.
Okay, yeah, got you.
The leadership and the loyalty.
Okay.
I like that.
Nice.
But
even at that age, you recognize that.
Yeah, dude. Like,
wow.
I think kids do. It's just he's a strong leader, and he's loyal to his sensei. I respect that.
That's cool.
And
okay.
So they put me in a what we thought was a karate school, but I mean it was not really one.
Okay.
It was a guy who his name was Larry Hike. Shout out, Mr. Larry Hike.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like forms and katas and stuff. Like he trained. He did kids class, but it was like kickboxing, and then he had actual professional kickboxers and boxers in his gym that he trained. So, and they a lot of times would teach the classes too. So yeah, it was karate, I guess, on paper, because he did give us belts and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was 100% like kickboxing.
Okay.
And so I started that when I was 4.
Yeah.
And I did it till I was 11. And so Saturday nights, man, like I remember me and Sammy Reeves, we were kids, we were 5 or 6 years old. We would go Saturday nights with my dad and his grandma and grandpa and stuff, and go to the fights and watch the guys that trained us and taught our classes actually fight professionally. And so for us,
so
it was
you were submerged.
Yeah, I was in it all the time. So I didn't know. So like when me and Sammy were little, we were like, man, we want to do that. We want to be those guys like Kevin Jordan and Jennifer, and I just remember all these people. This guy Donovan was up in there. But
so these were local guys. Like,
yeah.
Okay, because usually when you see, because the one thing that you haven't said, and I was sort of waiting for, but you haven't said it, which is interesting. Oh, well, I saw this guy on TV, and he was the bet. Like, I saw Colin or someone like that, and he inspired me. It was the local scene.
It was the local scene.
Okay.
It was from the North Shore, and boxing's big over here. It was, and MMA's just as big now too. But like, it was the guys that were helping me throw kicks and punches in there and I would see them fight and I would see them win. I'd see them win by knockout. I'm like, I thought it was cool. And I remember telling Sam, I was like, I want to be there one day.
Okay.
I want to be there.
So there is something to say about the day-to-day person that helps you rather than maybe
that's who I remember.
The television.
Yeah.
Sometimes because you and I'm in schools all the time, and they always talk more about the television.
Sure.
And it's just interesting to hear, someone's like, no, I didn't care about the pros.
Yeah.
It was the people that were there day to day helping me throw a kick that still inspired me to this day. That's interesting, man.
Yeah, and I think that's how you do it in life, to be honest with you. It's that those people that are with you and walk with you daily, that help you out daily. Those are the people that help you succeed.
Okay.
It's not the people that are the celebrities.
You're 100% right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the way
real,
I view it here.
Yeah.
Because my
real
wife,
folk.
My wife will tell you, like, I pour blood, sweat, and tears with our guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And and my success I've had in here and their success I had in here, we all just attribute to the gym. We're a family. You know what I'm saying? They might get a submission, and I have no problem saying that. Billy Stockstill taught him that submission in here. That was, I have no
egos.
No, man, it's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
We're all for the betterment of the gym.
And so you said that you were adopted.
I am, yes.
Okay, yeah. So what was that like growing up, knowing that sometimes you talk about the local scene, and you sometimes see people and they come in with their parents, and you come in with your, and then were there any type of, did you ever catch a glare sometimes, like what's going on there? Or,
Yeah, actually, sometimes. A lot of the reason is because my adopted father, who's my hero, Arthur Combel, he is 5'5", on a good day, and he's French and Italian, so he's got olive skin, dark eyes. Man, he looks like he'd be in the mafia. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all my cousins on that side were a bunch of little Italian kids, you know, and and then here I am, you know, I'm 6'2", 200 pounds. You know, they told me when I was young, hey, look, we don't want this to surprise you. You're adopted. I'm like, okay.
When did they like you said young?
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they wanted me to know.
Early.
Yeah, they wanted me to know. So, and I'm so thankful for that.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And they did it to my brother, who they adopted as well.
So, do you remember when they told you? Like, is that a memory you still have, or it's just kind of fuzzy?
No, it's fuzzy.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to my mom and dad about it and stuff, and they were like, yeah, I knew the story about what happened with, you know, my biological parents.
Yeah.
My biological mother was a woman named Roxana Bellator, and obviously from the North Shore as well. And my biological father was a guy named Darcy Fields. And Roxana Bellator, my mom, she was 13 when she had me. She was in the 8th grade, and Darcy was 15, and he was in the 9th grade. And Darcy was Native American, and he was a foster kid from down the street. And they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and he was in foster care, got kicked out, and they put him in juvie. And so my mother's mom decided, because she can get a check from him, to take him in. And when you take, you know, 2 kids in with raging hormones with no parental responsibility, well, you get me.
Life is life.
And so what's interesting about it, though, nobody knew about me. When she was pregnant with me, she told everybody she had a tumor. Her mom did. She told everybody her daughter had a tumor and she had to go get it removed. So they brought her to the hospital, and I was born, and they took her back. And then Darcy, he was in foster care, so he was devastated. He was like, what's going on? He got a guy to bring him up to the hospital, and he sees me through the window, and he's like, this is my baby, and they escorted him out. That's it.
And this is at 15.
Yeah, he was 15. He couldn't even drive, and she was 13.
Okay.
And then I didn't get a chance to. I didn't know him. You know, I didn't know him. I was put in the system. You know.
So they tell mom's telling everyone that her daughter has a tumor.
Right.
So when you go to them and you hear all this, what age were you?
Oh.
When all this unfolded for you for the first time.
So I knew a little bit about it, you know, growing up, and I wanted to meet my biological family. You know, I wanted to know them, to meet them.
Which parts did you know?
I knew that my mother had red hair. I knew that she was 13, and I knew that I had been told different stories, you know. And now, once I got older, I have different aunts that tell me different stories. The one I was told growing up was she was too young to have me. She couldn't take care of me.
Okay.
But another one that I hear that makes maybe a little more sense now was that I was mixed. And at that time, it was in society, they didn't know what I was going to come out looking like. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I know that I look like just a Starbucks drinking white boy now. But if you see a picture of my father, I mean, he looks like he plays off a Western, you know?
Okay, gotcha.
And my biological mother, red hair, green eyes, freckles. I mean, just white. I'm talking like 5 shades whiter than me, like glows in the dark at night. You know what I'm saying?
Are you serious?
Yeah. So, I mean.
Well, she won. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's just is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how it all happened. And the first time I got to meet my mother, right?
Yes. I
was at Gold Dragon. I mean, it wasn't actually here, but I came home from training, and my dad told me, he's like, hey, Pam DeLauder called. I was like, okay. And the first thing I thought was, who's that? And I was like, I know that's DeLauder was the name. Yeah. So he said, that's your aunt, and she wants to know if she could come talk to you. I'm like, okay. Well, her and my Aunt Susan pull up, and they come in, and I'm 22, 23, you know? And as soon as they saw me, like, I remember Aunt Pam just started crying. She's like, we have been looking for you for so long.
They
know what I'm saying?
Knew.
They knew, yeah. And then they told me who my father was. I'm like, Indian? I Oh, I don't
So
know about
you
that.
were like,
yeah, I was like, come on, man. I was like, come on, man. No,
it's not true.
Yeah.
No, stop lying, lady.
And then she showed me a picture of my mom, and I was like, this is the first time in my life I've ever seen her. I'm 22 years old, and I'm just like, I'm so shaken up. At that night, I remember I had that picture, and I slept with it on my chest because I was like, man, like, I just don't want this not to be real. I don't want this to be a dream.
So you didn't know. You still wasn't sure about. You weren't sure
About my dad yet.
Yeah,
Right.
but you still were attached to it so much that wow, you slept with the picture on.
Yeah, it's just I had been through so much stuff, and I was like, I don't want this to be a dream. It's just something I always wanted to know my parents.
I got
you. Being that I was orphaned.
Even though you had a great,
I had a wonderful family.
There's still that I want to know.
Yeah, because you just want to know, like, what's in my blood. Why do I look this way? Because I look different than my parents.
So there were those thoughts.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Arthur and Linda Combel were any less my mom and dad. That is my mom and dad.
Not.
That's my dad's my hero, and Linda was she was my angel. That's she passed away and she's in heaven now. But like, that was my family.
Yeah.
But so they got in touch with my mom and they said, look, we found your son. She said, where you at? I want to see him. Like, so she borrowed somebody's car from Baton Rouge and drove down, and she was like, tell me what he looks like. Tell me what he looks like. Does he have dark skin? Does he she's like, no, he kind of looks like you. And like, she was like, no. And so her and Aunt Pam come the next day, and I'm sitting out in the driveway, man. I didn't know what to think. I'm trying to get everything right. I'm like, I want to look nice. I don't look like a hobo. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I don't know. Like, I'm like, there's a lot of things going on in your mind.
Yeah.
That you're like, man, I want
about to meet your mom for the first time.
Yeah, about to meet my mom. Like, I want to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? I want to be.
Of course.
I just want to be a part of
It's funny how those moments can turn a grown man into a child again.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yes.
Because the insecurities come.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had insecurities that I hadn't thought about since I was a kid, because being adopted, I had abandonment issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand. I thought something was wrong with me growing up, but my family was like, no, ain't nothing wrong with you, man. Mm-hmm. You're fine. We love you. You know what I'm saying? And but like, she pulls up in this vehicle, dude. She's driving, and I remember it's like she just looks at me, and she sees me, and I looked at her, and it was like nothing else mattered. It's like our eyes connected instantly. The vehicle's still going, and she parks the vehicle. Like, she didn't park the vehicle. She jumped out of the vehicle while it's still going. Aunt Pam had to lean over and try to get it to stop. It's still going. She runs out in a full sprint towards me, and I run to her.
It's like a movie.
Dude, she grabs me. She's like, I'm so sorry. She starts crying. I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful. And when she asked me, she's like, after she calmed down a minute, she was like, did you feel like that I orphaned you? I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I don't. And she said, I'm just so sorry. I knew that you probably hated me. I said, no, I've never. And for a while when I was younger, I was very upset about that. Mm-hmm. But my dad, he was like, no, like, be thankful.
So he kind of stopped you from developing that hatred.
Absolutely. Yeah, because and I look back at it now, and I'm like, just like the Bible says, what happened to Joseph, though people meant it for evil, God meant it for good. Exactly. And that's where it was in my life and what was going on. And she told me, she said, no, your dad's 100% Native American. I'm like, I gotta find this dude, right? I gotta find this guy. I gotta know what's going on with this. Yeah. So we searched for him, and I couldn't, because the reservations are weird as far as the privacy. Yes. You don't just get to go in there strolling in. No, it's very weird. So I didn't know what else to do. So I was living in the city, and my mom had a good relationship, and my mom had told me I had 2 other brothers that live in Texas, and they look a lot like me. And so I was like, okay. So we got to meet them, and one of them moved in with my adopted dad. And
wow.
It was cool, it was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. So man. So he moves down, and so the search for my father went on, and I was like, I don't know how to get in touch with him. I don't know what to do. Like, so we just continued to. I just prayed about it and continued to work. And somebody mentioned maybe going into a private investigator. So I reached out to a guy that I worked with in the city who was doing some private investigation work, and he said, can you give me some like his birthday and some information about him? And I was like, yeah. So I gave it to him. He said, I'll see you in 20 minutes. I'll have your number.
Man, these dudes are like secret agents.
Dude, that's insane, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He said 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. He comes back and he hands me a list of numbers. He's like, you'll find him in one of these numbers. And so,
how did he get access to the reservation?
I don't know. I've never asked that question. Like,
were you a little like scared? Like you tell someone, they say 20 minutes and they come back with numbers and you're like, who are you, dude? Like,
well, I had worked with him.
You were? Okay.
Yeah, so I knew him for a couple of years. So I'm like, this dude's good. That's all I could think. He's good.
Crazy, man.
See, my mom had tried to get in touch with him, and this is kind of a funny story, but like she tried to get in touch with him, and somebody told us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, said she called. She said, I need to talk to Darcy Fields, and they said she's not here right now. And he's like, he's like, yeah. He's like, Darcy Fields? He's like, yeah. So she came and told me. She sat me down, and she was like, look, there's a good chance. You know, your dad had a hard life. Your biological father, Darcy, like he was in and out of foster care. He was severe abuse. All kind of stuff happened. There's a really good chance that this man, he's transitioned to a woman. Like,
wait,
yeah,
time out.
Yeah,
Stop.
Yeah, that's what I was told. And so,
what?
Yeah, so I'm sitting there like, what? Hold on now. Now, I'm thinking of like, if my dad's a woman, I don't know if I want this. This is a lot of carnage that I wasn't ready for.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I don't know if I want this. You know what I'm saying?
You're just being honest.
Yeah, I don't know how to deal with that, and I don't. And Arthur Combel came back in the picture, and he said, "Listen," he said, "it doesn't matter what he's done or who he is. Every man deserves to know that he has a son." So I was like, whew.
And now I understand why this
is
your hero.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sitting
every
every
right
time
thing to say
and
at
I was
the right
like,
moment.
I was like, okay. So he said, and so if he is, he might not know, and he still should have that chance. If he doesn't want that relationship, that's on him, but he needs to have that chance. You know what I'm saying?
He just pull you back from the brink every time.
I know. And so I was like, okay. So I was at work in the back in Metairie and up in the city, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And so my buddy Ernest was back there. Now Ernest is from he's from the hood up in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you
yeah.
We know where this is going.
Yeah. He would like just I could do this voice. I was like, say man, I got this, bro. I got this. Give me the number. I was like, all right. So he calls the number. He was like, he has no filter, no social etiquette. He just goes in there. He's like, yo, where Darcy Fields at? And like, this girl answers the phone. She was like, yeah, I'm Darcy Fields. And I was like, I'm thinking like, here it goes. He goes,
oh man,
were you born on this day? And she goes, no, that's my father. And I was like, I was like everything, like people like, get the phone from him. Clay goes, oh, for real? How old? I was like, give me the phone, idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like I get the phone, like, hey, listen, Darcy Fields is supposed to be my father as well. You have a brother in Louisiana, and I'm living in New Orleans right now. She's like, wait, what? I was like, listen. I was like, I know this is gonna sound crazy. This is my phone number. My name is Clay Combel. I was adopted. Just ask your dad if he had a kid that he didn't tell y'all about, that was, in New Orleans, or at least the surrounding area of New Orleans. And I was like, here's my Facebook. I'm not a weird stalker. Just look at me. You see, I'm a normal person.
That's important to say.
Yeah. And then so she stays on the phone with me, and then she screams. She's like, you look just like my dad. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And she was like, I told her I'm gonna call her back, and we talked for like 4 hours that evening. And so she went and talked to my father on the res, and he was like, yeah. He just was like so excited. He was like, is there any way I can talk to him? So he called me that night and was like, he was like, when you want to come out? Like, come to the res and meet your family. And so I was like, okay, yeah. So I flew out there, and
you're going to the reservation.
Yeah, I'm by myself. I flew out there by myself, one deep. Just and the white guy.
Ernest with you?
No, man, Ernest would have got me in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like Ernest would have got me in the fight, 100%. he wanted to come. You
Well,
already
yeah,
know.
I
He wanted to come.
he wanted to come.
He kept talking about he needs a native wife, and I was like, they're not gonna like you, dude. Like, you know.
I heard it, man. It's hilarious.
But yeah, so I fly out there, man, and I remember getting dropped off by the bus outside the res, and the bus driver was like, "Hey, dude, you need to be careful." He's like, "These reses are dangerous," and I'm like, "Nah, well, whatever."
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
like,
I
"I'll be
got
fine."
this.
Yeah.
All right,
So I'm walking in there, and my dad just told me, he said, "Look, you get there, just tell them you know me, and they'll help you out. You know, they know my son's coming, and he's gonna be mixed." So I'm walking down the road, and they have 3 big native guys standing there, and I could tell they're looking at me. I'm like, "Oh, man, this is gonna get bad." You know what I'm saying? I'm a white guy in here, half white, you know, and so
You're a little defensive.
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
a little defensive.
I understand,
stuff, you know?
man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animosity and stuff, and
Of course.
you know, so man, we get there, and I'm walking, and they're looking at me. So one of them says something. He's like, "Hey, Sketta." I'm like, "What?"
Like,
He's like,
whoa, bro.
He's like, "Hey, Sketta." I'm like, "Man, what'd you call me?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Sketta, what you doing here, man?" And I was like, "Well, okay, I'm here to see my dad." He's like, "Who's your dad?" I was like, "Darcy Fields." And he goes, "Oh, he's all good. He's Darcy's son, man."
Okay.
And like everybody's
Immediately
cool.
it changed.
And so they're like, let's help with your bags, man. We'll walk you down to this place. I was like, "Cool." So,
Wow.
and I was like, "What did you call me when I walked up?" And they said, "Sketta."
White boy.
They said it's mixed. I mean, you're mixed breed. And I was like, "You could tell I was mixed." They were like, 100% because your cheekbones, your jaw structure, it shouts native to us. I was like, "Well, that's cool, man."
Wow.
You know.
Okay.
So we went out there, and then they found out I fight, and so they were all wanting to learn it, and just we're over there. I'm over there throwing freaking Muay Thai leg kicks with the kids and showing them stuff, and like I got into a rap battle with one of the guys named Dakota, who's now my sister Margarita's engaged to.
Wait, use the time. Okay, time.
Yeah.
Way play a rap battle.
Yeah, we're
So
just
you're
playing.
a rapper?
No, I'm not a rapper.
Okay.
We're just playing.
Okay.
We're just playing.
Because we're gonna have to talk about that.
No, I'm definitely not a rapper.
Okay.
We were just playing around.
I got you.
It was more of just because I heard too many white jokes, you know. So I was just like, you know what? I'll bet I'll out rap you. And I was like,
Did you?
Yeah, heck yeah, I did. I smashed him.
How was that like?
But he was going hard. He was going hard in the paint.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh gosh,
Man,
I'm just trying to think of stuff at the time when this guy's gonna kill me. So he's got every white joke imaginable, you know, and they're funny. That's what's bad. They're
So you're laughing.
funny. Oh heck yeah, dude! I was dying laughing. And like they had this place that we were playing basketball, in the little part of the res called the Triangle Court, right?
Yeah.
And I remember my last line of it was go like when I got that guy Dakota. My last line, which made everybody kind of jump out of their seats, I was like, "Go back to the Triangle Courts where you go practice and quit wearing your boxers backwards and calling it easy access." And like, yeah, I know. Well, like,
Wow.
it was funny.
That was
like,
cold,
yeah.
man.
Oh no, and then now he's engaged to my sister. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that worked out. So
Oh
you
yeah,
got your sister.
Yeah, no. I was like, it's funny, man. It's funny. We're talking about it and having a good time.
That's crazy. How do you? Okay, this is a random question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Eminem? You like Eminem?
I do, man.
Okay,
I think he's a fantastic.
My mom's favorite rapper.
Yeah, he's good, dude. He's good. I do think he beat MGK, man.
I think he killed him.
Yeah,
I think he's done.
He's done. He's done. That's what I'm saying. Like he's done.
No. He hasn't rapped since, has he?
No. I think he's doing punk rock now. I mean, what are you gonna say to that?
It was
you know?
so bad that he made him switch like genres.
Yeah, that's when you know you're good. It's the GOAT, man.
I literally listened to that the first day it came out, and I went,
Done.
I can't believe this man just ended this dude's career.
I know.
And
Like,
there's nothing he could say after that.
Yeah.
But he went, and it's kind of like UFC. Like,
yeah,
if you go looking for this fight,
yeah,
you might get knocked out.
right.
And there's nothing you can say.
Yeah, just pick yourself up and go back and work harder.
And that's literally what just happened. So like, okay, so you talk about that, and you're reunited with your dad, and you finally like this gap in you is filled.
Yeah.
So now we go forward.
Yeah, so now it's
So
like,
what happens?
man, I got super pumped about the heritage and stuff, and then like, of course, nobody here. They're like, "Wait, you're native?" I'm like,
No one even knew.
No one knew. And I'll show you some pictures, just to show you how similar me and my dad look.
Yeah.
It's like just him. I'm just a white version of him, and it's pretty wild. So Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
came back and I was telling him, I was like, I got back in the Gold Dragon, dude, and just started fighting and stuff, and we're training at the time. Derek Arsman had approached me. He's like, hey, dude, you need to get on one of these Atlas shows, which is a really big show. You know, I mean, they
What is
produced
the
Atlas is at the time, man, and it's still big. It was one of the precursors to the UFC. Like most of the champions got signed to like Dana White Contender Series or went directly to him. Like here's some people like you got Jason Knight, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, Hick Diaz, he was an Atlas champion. Yeah, we met him.
Okay.
I mean, I met him on the regional circuit here. You know, a lot of good guys that came from there, and so to go back to that question, you asked, what does it feel like? I remember at the Atlas fight, because that was one of the times where I was like, there's a lot of people here.
Yes.
And I'm walking out. You know what I'm saying? And I have Sensei, and Sensei is the calm in the storm. Like, he speaks, and when he speaks, it's like you only hear him. So he was just telling me, he's like, dude, you know, do your thing. I got Troy Kidglore. Props to Troy Kidglore, who's one of the coaches here. Troy was... He puts my head right on his. He's talking. He was like, hands up, chin down, get ready to go to war. I'm like, all right, let's go. You know, and
ready
I'm
now.
ready. You know, my song's playing. My
What's
walkout
the song?
It's Awesome God by R. Swift.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. It's that's what I walk out to.
Hey, man,
and same thing as Ben Henderson. So when I got to train with Ben, it was I was able to tell him that. He thought that was pretty cool.
That's cool, man.
We flew out to Arizona for that one.
Okay.
That's another story.
Yes.
So when I was walking out, Derek told me, he goes, this guy you're fighting's tough. You know, we watched a lot of videos on him. He's fighting out of Alabama. I believe he's with Cole Miller now, and you know, former UFC. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's
good. He's good. He said, this is what I want you to do. Like, don't worry about anything else. He said, go out there and throw a double jab and angle step. He's like, and then do what you got to do. You'll know it. He said, but be first. The reason you want to be first is you're going to dictate the pace. And that's all I could think about. I'm just pacing back and forth in the cage. When the cage door shut, I remember hearing the lock, and I was like, it's on. But I was like, I've done this before. What am I nervous about? But the crowd. And then I look back at Derek.
How many people?
Man, I don't even know. I know it was over 2,000.
Okay.
So
it's a crowd.
I mean, no, it's a crowd. It was at the MGM ballpark.
It was a crowd.
It was a crowd.
Yeah.
And it was an outdoor one, so it was even wilder.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Those outdoor fights are always different. I hear
it was
like
awesome.
It's weird. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Okay.
And I remember turning around and looking at Derek, and he just looked at me. He's like, 1, 2. I just double jab. I was like, all right, cool.
Okay.
And
so you got your plan.
So I got my plan, and they're like calling out my name and all this stuff. And I don't remember. I remember just closing my eyes and savoring the moment, and just being like, when I'm done with this, my kids will know about it. That's what I thought. I'm doing this for a legacy.
Where did that come from?
I wanted a legacy.
Okay.
I wanted a legacy. Mm-hmm. Whether I won or lost at that moment, I thought about my kids who weren't even born at the time. I said, I want them to know that their dad chased his dream. He didn't just sit around and talk about it.
And that is just so pivotal. Like, there's something about, I've noticed, you know, you look at Joe Rogan.
Yes.
You look at people who are in this, I forgot. What's the Irish?
Conor McGregor.
Of course. I don't know how, Conor McGregor, those guys, I listen to their interviews, and it's always about chasing your dream.
Yeah.
Don't let life pass you by.
Right.
You know, whatever you want to do, focus on it 100%.
Yeah.
And go for it.
Yep.
And man, like those types of guys, like really, what do you think is about maybe just fighters and the dream chase, like making sure you're doing everything that you can do to live to your fullest? I feel like that's a thing in fighting. Like, do you see that a lot? Like, just
as far as just chasing their dreams.
As far,
you know, for fighters, at least the ones that I've been around who've been extremely successful, which is most of the guys in our gym. Yeah. It's the sacrifices, man. Okay. You know, they're willing to make sacrifices other people are not, and that's what I've noticed. You know, I know when I was fighting, it was like going to see families and having events and stuff, and me not being able to eat because I have to make weight and I have to be regimented on my weight. And like Billy Stockstill said this about a year ago, and it has rang true to my heart. We don't want motivation in here. We don't want that. We want discipline, because motivation will come and go, but discipline will stay. And discipline will give you the results that you need. you know.
That's
So
crazy. And with
yeah,
bring those two guys up.
yeah,
With McGregor
yeah,
and with any type of fighter, you know, Rogan, they always talk about discipline. You got to be disciplined. You got to be able
right.
to wake up early, even when you don't want to go to the gym. And surprisingly, sometimes, you know, most of the time they don't want to go. Joe talks.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't
it's
want to go
hard.
to the gym.
Yeah, it's hard, especially when you're doing what we're doing in here. You know,
Yeah.
your body's sore, your mind's tired, you're exhausted. Most of these guys in here work 9 to 5 jobs, so you know.
And then they come in.
And then they
here
come in
and
the
put in the
evenings.
work.
Yeah, 2 or 3 hours. You know, it's just brutal. It's brutal on your body. It's brutal on your mind.
Yeah.
You know, it's brutal on your family. And Sensei had told me, he said, that's Lawrence Patrick. He had told us, he's like, look, like do it now, because when life starts to hit you and you have a family, it's going to be way harder to continue this journey. You know what I mean? So do it now.
Okay.
And you know, that was one of the things that gave me confidence out there, was that, you know, Sensei and Derek and Joe and some of these guys were like, dude, you're ready.
Okay.
You know, and that's what we tell our guys. We won't put you in there unless you're ready.
Okay.
You know?
So you go in. What happened? What's the result?
Yeah. When I went to Atlas, man, I won.
There you
I
go.
won, man. Dropped him in 6 seconds and then dropped him again.
Say what?
Yeah.
First 6 seconds?
First 6 seconds of the fight. I dropped him. I hit him with a
double jab and angle.
double jab angle. He bum rushed me through an overhand right, clipped me in the eye, but I sat down on my right, straight punch, dropped him to one knee. He got back up, trying to, when he was getting back up, hit him with an uppercut, left hook. He fell face first to the canvas. I jumped on him. That's where I messed up, and just as I've developed as a fighter, I would have done things different in that moment.
Okay. What would you have done different?
So what I did is all I could think about was Robbie Lawler, take his soul. That's not what the game plan I should have done.
Okay.
I should have calculated my punches and worked, and not let him cover in defense and then me continue just to beat on him. I should have tried for a choke and established better position. But
Okay. So all right. I mean, but that's you know, you're in the moment.
Yeah,
the
it's
adrenaline's going.
Adrenaline, and then because then you know, I had to get up and realize after that first round, man, I threw a lot of punches, and so I'm gonna survive. Yeah, I'm exhausted, but I'm not gonna stop. And that was the mindset of this gym. Was like, we're used to doing that. You know, we thrive in chaos.
Okay,
and
so what is it like? Okay, so let's say you're in there.
Yeah.
You're exhausted.
Yeah.
How do you get to the next gear, or just sort of stay where you are, like in the moment, because your body's exhausted, you don't know what to do. So how do you keep going?
We just well, first off, our training we do it where we're completely done. We have nothing left in the gas tank, then we get more, and we do it with multiple people on us. And so we're ready. So I remember thinking, like, I was like, yeah, I'm tired, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, me and this guy are gonna fight, and it's only one person I got to deal with. I don't have five other guys coming after me when I'm done with him.
That's the difference. You know? Okay.
So I'm like, let's go. And we went, man, and we had an awesome fight, man. We did great, and both of us, and props to him. He was an extremely tough, durable guy, and he's had a very successful career. So
okay. So the you know, we want to do the obviously the big stuff.
Yeah.
UFC. Who's your favorite fighter? Who's the guy you're looking at right now?
Man, this was interesting.
Okay.
My very favorite fighter is not even in the UFC anymore, but his name is Vitor Belfort, and I loved him as a kid. When I was like 16. Anderson
Silva caught with the
yeah. Everybody knows him on that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And,
I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I love him. But as far as like current UFC guys, I really like a guy named James Krause. He flies under the radar, but he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I know the time it puts in. You know, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 14 and a half years, and I'm a 3-stripe brown belt under Sensei.
Okay.
And but like, James is a stud, man. I love the way he is as a coach, though. He's a fantastic coach. He's articulate, and he's very, I would say, knowledgeable in the sport, because he's got all these fights and he's on a really good win streak. You know what I mean? People don't know about him. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's got excellent kickboxing. But James Krause, I like him. I like a guy named Sean Brady a lot. Welterweight, undefeated. Just beat Michael Chiesa.
Another Brady.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I really like the Diaz brothers. I've been a fan of those guys for a long time, man.
I feel like with the Diaz brothers, there's just something different going on up here. Like it feels like when they're in the ring, it's just a different energy, man. Like,
I think what it is, those guys have had to work for everything they've had, and they bring that street mentality in there. Like, this is not pity patter. This is, I'm coming to take your head. You know what I mean?
Take your soul.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're coming to fight you, and they'll do it in the parking lot too. Like, that's just the way they are.
Yes.
And I like that because the first time I saw one of them fight, again, was one of those bootleg things I bought from a guy in New Orleans. It was when Nick Diaz knocked out Robbie Lawler with a hook that long, just like right over the top.
Man.
And so I was like, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? That guy is awesome.
Nice.
And they just put punches and bunches and combinations, and I love their heart, their tenacity, their jiu-jitsu black belts, which is incredible.
Okay.
And I mean, that's what I like about them, and I think that's why people like them, is because they're real. They're real people. You know what I'm saying? They're not walking around in Armani suits, driving Lamborghinis. What did they do? You know, they both bought homes in the hometown they came from, which for other people would be a dump. They would never want to live there, but they stayed there. And they do free jiu-jitsu classes for the kids. And I mean, how could you not like that?
And they don't even talk about it. Like,
Never.
It's just something they
Never.
do.
That's just like Brian Fulmer. Fulmer all the time, man. He was always doing jiu-jitsu classes for underprivileged kids, and he would go into the ghettos and say, if you want to come learn martial arts, come to me, and I will help you, and I will teach you, and it's free. Don't ever pay a penny. And he invested in these guys.
That's awesome.
And that's who taught me jiu-jitsu at first, you know. And so when I came here, like, I called Brian and said, dude, like, Sensei seems just like the same person. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence Patrick's the same person. Like, he's not about the money. Never was. You see the result of everything around here.
Like, there are a lot of belts in here, people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of belts in here.
Yep. And we got a bunch of the top-ranked guys in the Southeast region in our gym right now. You know, you're going to hear from some of them. I know in some of these next podcasts, it's going to be good stuff. But you know, Sensei his recipe works. You know, and it's continued to work throughout this MMA game. You know, he was a pioneer of it, and he doesn't toot his own horn or get a lot of credit for it, but he literally is a pioneer of MMA in the South. And you know, that's just my thoughts on it. So
okay, well, listen, I always give my guests the last word. So if there's anything that you want to say, anything that you want to promote that's coming down the pike, it's your time. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, just a couple things. We got fights coming up, guys. Gold Dragon MMA. If y'all looking for a place to train, you know, come train with us. We're the home of champions, and we got the best around. I am not just MMA coach. I'm a health coach, and I breed American Bulldogs. So, I got some champions in my yard right now. Okay. Shout out Mike Evans, GSK Kennels, and Jeff Lyle of Freezes. Okay. And these are two breeders, and taking over that too, man. We trying to do our thing with it. Yeah, man.
Anything else you do? Like, what else you do?
Well, I can rap. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. It's an honor being here.
Thanks for letting us come in here, dude. This is awesome.
I hope to have a lot more interviews with you with this.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Well, like I said, thanks again for coming on. Make sure if you're in the Picayune area, Gold Dragon MMA here, they love to have you, you know. And so thanks for joining us for another episode of Real Folk. Again, be sure to like and subscribe. I know I'm that dude. Just help me out. Okay? And we'll be sure to see you. This is the first episode of our MMA series. So look for the next episode coming to you shortly. And be good, guys. Thanks again, Clayton.
Thank you.